Today, my friends and I set off on one of the most refreshing and nature-filled adventures you can do near Puerto Vallarta. A hike through the Nogalito Ecopark all the way up the river to the waterfalls. From the moment we stepped into the jungle, the scenery was unreal. This trail is rated medium to hard, but honestly, it's more technical than difficult. Expect to walk approximately 3 kilometers or 2 miles along jungle paths, wade through the river, crossing it multiple times, and scrambling over rocks as the sound of rushing water echoes all around you. Every step is surrounded by untouched beauty, flora and fauna. Vibrant plants, flowers, palms, butterflies, fish, frogs, freshwater shrimp, and lizards. It truly feels like walking through a living postcard. Here we are at the corner of Constitution and Paseo Badillo, and we are going to catch our bus. And the buses here cost 10 pesos, and they basically depart every 10 minutes to the south coast, all the way to Boca de Tamatlan. But today, we're going to get off and go to Nogalito, and we're going to hike the Ecopark up to the waterfalls there. Now, the buses can be really jam-packed here, especially if you arrive before 9 o'clock, but we're catching a 9 o'clock bus, and most of the people heading off to work or tourists and expats heading to the south for a excursion have already departed, so we're going a little bit later, and the buses are full, standing room only, but not overly full. We always enjoy taking the bus. You get to see a little bit of the town, then you go out and go along the highway here, which runs between the coast as well as the Sierra Madre Mountains, and that's always interesting. It's a windy road, very scenic. You very often get a chance to glimpse the ocean on the right-hand side here. But for this trip, we are only going to be on the road for about 20 minutes at the extreme before we get off at Nogalito, which is just past the Hilton Hotel. And from there, we'll be walking into town or through the town all the way up to the entrance to the Eco Park, and that's a distance of approximately 2 kilometers. Here we are. We just got off the bus, and now we'll cross the road and head on towards the Nogalito Ecopark. So at the corner of the highway and the road to Nogalito, you'll see this large sign saying "Welcome to Nogalito," and on top of that, you'll see a sign for the Eco Park, and to the left there is the bus stop to take you back to Puerto Vallarta. And don't worry about missing the stop. Just tell your bus driver you want to get off at Nogalito, and he'll stop the bus for you. It's a 2-kilometer walk all the way to the Eco Park. It's very easy on these cobblestone streets, and it's a very interesting walk. Lots of flowers on the side of the road here, lots of palms. It's generally pretty shady in here. You do need to watch out for traffic because Nogalito is one of these little hidden gems of a small town that's becoming more popular, and they're starting to be developed. Another thing interesting about this little walk is that you're going to pass 2 tequileries. And they're quite popular. A lot of people stop there for tasting, but since we're going to be going on this hike, and if you plan to go on a hike, I don't recommend stopping because that would probably make the hike a little bit difficult. So if you want to do some tequila tasting, maybe you want to wait until after the hike and then partake. So this is the first tequilery, and a little later on, just as we pass through the town, we'll go right beside another tequilery, and I've seen lots of people there as well, and generally there's organized tours that'll take you to a tequila tasting into the Nogalito Eco Park, either for a walk, but they also have zip lining there, and you can grab lunch, so it's a very popular excursion with tourists. I think Viator actually has a tourist excursion that'll take you here, but one of the things I like about this particular hike, it's actually not that difficult to do on your own. So a DIY or do-it-yourself type of trip, that's possible. But if you're more comfortable with tourist groups, then obviously those are available as well. So once you pass over the bridge, you've entered the town of El Nogalito. It's fairly small, but it is expanding. They've got some beautiful colored buildings here. I saw one local restaurant, and there was a corner store as well, so you can also grab some food here if you'd like. We just like walking through it, and I believe it's the second exit on the left, but look for signs that say El Nogalito Eco Park, and that's the exit that you'll take on your left-hand side, and that will take you directly to the gates of the Eco Park. Hola. Here we are down on the Nogalito Road, and we're going to be hanging a left first road, well, maybe not the first road, but you'll see signs saying Nogalito Ecopark, just like this one, and that's where you want to turn off. From the highway where our bus dropped us off, it was exactly 1.34 kilometers to this point, so less than a mile. And now we have 3/4 of a kilometer or half a mile to walk to get to the entrance of the Eco Park. So just outside the town, as we pass the corner, you're going to pass by some beautiful haciendas. This one here with an impressive gate and a large structure behind it. And there's something very similar on the right-hand side. But also just past this little entrance section here is the second tequilery. And this one is actually quite popular. I see vehicles in here all the time. The parking's just on the other side of the structures here. And I've known a few people who tested it out, and they said it was superb. But again, we've got to hike another 3 kilometers up a river, so we're not going to stop for tequila until we come back if we're in the mood for it. And you probably noticed that we've gone from a cobblestone road into a dirt road, but shortly as we go up a little hill and then down the other side, it goes over to concrete, probably to keep the friction for driving on it, because in the rainy season they get a lot of water here. So now we're at the parking lot section of the Eco Park. We just got across this little stream here, which is actually runoff from the mountains. We'll be in the parking lot, and the parking lot's on the right-hand side, and the Eco Park will be on the left. And there's a nice little walkway all the way up to their pavilion there, where they have all their services, and most importantly, their restaurant, which we'll be heading back to after our hike. So at this point, you have a choice. You can go to your right and directly into the river and bypass the park entrance, but we're going to stick to our left or just go straight forward and pay a small fee. Traditionally, the last 2 years, they were charging a fee of 150 pesos per person, but that came off your restaurant tab and drink tab. But this year, it's only 50 pesos a person, which allows you to pass through the park and go up to the waterfalls, which I think is quite reasonable. There's the restrooms if you want to use them. The women there and the men are just below on the other side. We go. We paid 50 pesos to get a waterfall pass, so it allows us to go into the park. But this is their dining area, and we're going to come back here after we do the hike to the falls and have lunch. So it's this way. So this is their facilities for when they do zip lining. They train the people right here. Got the helmets out. And this is the entrance to the park. So the Nogalito Ecopark actually has 11 zip lines. I've never tried it. It's on my list of things to do, and one of these days when I find a few friends who are willing to go, I think I'll take it up. And on our left-hand side right here is actually the entranceway to the first zip line. So the entrance to the Eco Park is actually a path, and at the first section here is actually stone steps that they put in. It's a little eclectic down here. They have some hammocks out. They actually have a sweat lodge and a massage place, but I don't know if they're continuing on with those services. I really haven't seen anybody use those in the last couple of years. But first, I would say probably 1 kilometer of this particular hike is very, very simple. It's just on these sandy paths here. It's really wide and well marked. No way to get lost whatsoever. Well, there's really no way to get lost on this whole particular hike, because all you're doing is following the river, and the river runs between basically 2 gorges down a ravine here, so it's fairly narrow, so you just follow along and you'll eventually make it to the falls. And from the start of the pavilion here at the Eco Park to the falls is less than 3 kilometers, so less than 2 miles. And it should take you about an hour and 15 minutes if you go at a sort of slower pace, because you want to be careful, because when you're walking through the river, it can be a little bit slippery, so don't rush it and don't hurt yourself. So now that we've been baptized with our first walk in the water, we're now on the path again. And I'd like to point out, if you look to my left here, you'll see that there's lots of pipes, and these are water irrigation or water supply lines, and the people from the village actually get their water from the river, so they run them up to little cisterns that are built into the river itself, and just the higher elevations, enough pressure to feed water into their homes. That's what you're seeing all the way along here. So after the first kilometer, you're going to be pretty much walking in the river most of the time. The good news is it's not very deep. I think the deepest part that we went through, other than the pool at the falls, was only up to about my knees. It's fairly easy to walk. I didn't find it very slippery, but you do need to be careful. There's lots of rocks you got to step over. I tend to try and find sandy areas to walk through. I find that's the best way to navigate it, and I actually find it easier to walk through the river than along the pass anyways. The flora and fauna in this area is just absolutely gorgeous. We found frogs here, freshwater shrimp, but there's lots of different types of flowers, lots of different butterflies, and every once in a while you'll see a lizard trying to get out of your way by scooting across the path. So it looks like they made a cistern here to capture the water and hold it, probably for the drier months. And they got all these pipes down here to funnel it to their homes down below. So for whatever reason, the lid of the cistern is missing. It was always there in the past. And at the front of the cistern, they put a little bit of a catch basin and a grate, and I guess that's to try to minimize the amount of tree leaves and debris that can go into their freshwater supply. That's cool. They really thought it out here, and it's almost indistinguishable from the river. You just got to look and see something that's all stacked up like a little cemented rock boulder wall, and that's the only way you pick these things up. Now, in terms of hiking equipment that you want for this particular excursion, the most important thing is your footwear. A lot of people like to wear those open-toed hiking sandals. I personally don't like those, especially on a river walk, because they tend to fill up with some gravel and sand, and you're always stopping to clean those things out. So my preference has always been using some old pair of running shoes that has good traction, that I don't mind getting wet, but probably the best thing to do is a pair of hiking boots that you don't mind getting wet with some good traction, and it gives you also some ankle stability here. Now, as I said before, it's not overly slippery, I find here. The water is fresh and clean. There's not a lot of moss or slime, but you do have to walk over a lot of uneven surfaces and climb over rocks. So the best thing you can do is have some good footwear. Now, the only other thing that you need is your bathing suit. And for a bathing suit, there is no place to change once you get into the path here and up to the falls. So you either wear it as a hiking shorts or you put it under your shorts here. I'll say one final thing you may want to consider bringing, and that is bug spray. I personally don't often use it because I have found that I've never really had a problem with mosquitoes or other bugs here, but it's always a good thing to have just in case the bugs are out that particular day. Now, probably my most favorite part of this trail, and this is this little stretch here. It's basically a big rock that almost looks like it's been split in half, like a very narrow gorge. It's very shallow, just absolutely beautiful for probably about 100 feet where you're walking between two rock walls. The other thing I like about it is you see all these tree roots coming down, trying to get water from the river bottom as well. It's just spectacular. So beautiful. Absolutely love this little section of the trail. It's just so picturesque. I wish the sun wasn't coming right down the middle of the canyon there because it made it hard to see. But other than that, what a perfect spot to sit back and take it all in. So now we continue onwards along the path in the river, and we only have a short distance to go before we reach our ultimate destination, which is the falls. Looking forward to a great swim in these cool waters. It's just a great place to sit back and relax, listen to the birds, watch the butterflies, and just enjoy it all. There's also a lot of fish in the water there typically, so I'm hoping to see those as well. And we finally have arrived. We're just going to take a walk around this boulder and we'll get our first glimpse into the basin and the falls itself. Nogalito Ecopark Falls, or just before it. We can now see it in the distance, right there. Not exactly. There's the pool in front of the falls. Not as deep as it has been in past years. Not seeing all the big fish we normally see here. But there's the falls. Beautiful natural falls. Fish in here. Oh, there's a big prey fish down there. I can't get him on film. He's too deep. Big fresh. Yeah. There's a fish there, but a big. Yeah, you can see him right on the rock edge there. He's a good sized one. He's probably 6 inches. Right where the two rocks come together. Right. He looks like a rock now. See if I can scare him up. So I've been coming up here for about 6 years, and every time I'm here, it's always changing. But this pool behind the Waterfalls pool is generally about 5 feet deep right at this section, but it's a little shallower this year. And then you go through this little narrow section which contains this large bowl, which I think was probably hollowed out by the river from this falls, probably during the rainy seasons. A lot of water going through here, and I suspect it created some sort of a whirlpool, hence its geometry. It's just a little isolated open bowl with a nice quaint little falls going down here. And the pool here can be very shallow, and it can be semi-deep at times, depending on how much of this little entry section gets plugged up and holds the water back. And the water here is perfect, by the way, in terms of temperature. We found it cool, but not cold, just really easy to get in and so refreshing. So the next step, let's take a look at this falls here. It's so natural, so beautiful, and let's get underneath it and see what that feels like. about Nogalito Ecopark?
It's amazing.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up. A nice hike.
David.
Totally worth the hike to come up there.
Look at this.
Hard to beat.
Hard to beat. Yeah.
David is going in for a massage.
This is one of my favorite places in all of Puerto Vallarta. A beautiful natural falls, a fantastic hike, crystal clear waters. It's just so hard to beat. Just serenity served up close to a nice modern town here in Mexico. Late November, the water is super warm. Well, relatively. It's fresh spring, but it's not overly cool, not overly cold. I would say cool and refreshing. So a quick little stop at the other pool and just trying to photograph some of the fish here. There's actually quite a few in here, and you can see one right here. And as we headed on back to the Eco Park, we stopped at a little pool here and we noticed this freshwater shrimp just lounging around and scurried under a rock after a short period of time. So going down the river was a little bit faster than going up the river, and so it took us an hour and 15 minutes at a leisurely pace to get to the falls from the entrance of the Eco Park, and it took us only an hour to make our way back. Now, I will admit we were probably taking less pictures and staring less as we traversed some territory that we've already done before, so maybe that accounted for part of it. But it was a fairly quick trip all the way back to the Eco Park and the restaurant there, which I'm going to show you next. So as you can see, the Eco Park restaurant is actually quite large. They've got lots of different seating, well spaced, and all these umbrellas. But for shade, you really don't need the umbrellas. You can sit under just this large canopy of trees. Now, my favorite spot to sit is a little bit on the lower level because you're right beside the river and you get to listen to the water go by while you have a drink, in my case a cerveza, and grab some food. And the food here is actually excellent. Traditional Mexican cuisine, things like shrimp tacos or tacos al pastor, quesadillas, things like that. Obviously guacamole and nachos are on the menu as well. A variety of other things as well.
Okay, welcome to the jungle.
A jungle with a burro, a donkey right over here.
Donkey mucho grande. Hello. Nice to meet you on the weather chiclets. Madam, do you like something to drink?
I have a lemonade, please.
Lemonade?
Mineral?
Not mineral. No alcohol. Yes, sir. Pacifico. What do you like? Beer Pacifico, do you like? Pacifico?
Yes.
See.
I love. And the front, Mazatlan.
Mazatlan.
The waiter.
There you go.
I'm
Mazatlan.
from Mazatlan and I love the waiter. Yes, sir.
I'm going to have a Pacifico, por favor.
One more. Are you ready?
Uno
for
más.
lunch?
Yes.
Sí.
Recommended for you the waiter chiclet, mommy tree number 1, and the Mexican tacos pastor. Recommended.
I'll have the tacos pastor, your recommendation.
Check it out. Un momento on the bridge, un momento on the order, the food, okay?
Okay.
The recommended and the Mexican food taco, my friend, pastor, and the mommy chin, un momento on
The
the...
chiclet bringing cervezas. I think you enjoy your job.
Enjoy.
Gracias.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Job well done. Another hike off the list.
Thank you, David.
Yes. Thank you, David. Cheers.
My tacos El Pastor and the Nogalito Ecopark are here. They look delicious. And I got a nice guacamole with some cheese on top. And what do you got there?
Chicken quesadilla.
Chicken quesadillas. Ooh, and with a salad. That looks fantastic.
Delicious.
Appetizing, and you got chicken quesadilla as well?
Same thing.
You're such a couple.
We are a couple.
We
That
are.
is true. I've just.
Just a try.
Yay.
The Nogalito Ecopark restaurant. I'm hearing that sounds like a positive note.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Very good. I think we're all cool.
So here we go. We have a al pastor taco. It's got some pineapple in it. It's all cooked. It's hot, 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 hot. Oh, that's really good. Really flavorful, especially the pineapple. Really excellent. And I haven't even put the trimming on it yet. Do that next. So that was a great hike, swim at the falls, and a beautiful lunch here at the restaurant. We got to also interact with these macaws that they have there, just beautiful birds. And then we hiked the 2 kilometers back to the highway where we caught our bus back to Puerto Vallarta. And the buses come about every 10 minutes, so you don't have to wait long. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Also should point out that we walked back to the bus stop at the highway, and that's only about 2 kilometers, and grabbed our bus, and it comes by just about every 10 minutes, so it's easy to get one.